Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's third and final video. We're going to have a look at bold weather. It's 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 12th of July. We'll be able to extend out beyond that with its GavsWeatherVids Ensembles. Maybe on trying to cover weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us to the end of July, and I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just to say that first video today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, and we've also released the extended EC30 data for the UK, Europe as well, extended European outlook. So check out those two bits if you'd like to do that. Like, share and subscribe on all today's videos and content, and thank you so much everybody for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Now we're going to start in the tropical Atlantic. Two interest areas. The yellow X just here is disturbance 1 with a 20 to 30% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 and 7 days. Don't have to worry too much about that at the moment. But all the concern, all the interest is with Hurricane Beryl just here. Now check this out, everyone. Beryl is currently giving maximum sustained winds of 165 miles per hour. That is a maximum sustained wind of 165 miles per hour. So gusts would be well in excess of that. That is a Category 5 hurricane, and this is the earliest Category 5 hurricane that we have seen, ever in recorded history. Anyway, there have been a couple of Category 5s in July, I think, but later on in the month. But this is the earliest, for a Category 5 hurricane. So absolute devastation going on there. If we click on Beryl and go here, we can see that the track of major Category 5 Hurricane Beryl is taking it to Jamaica. Quite unusual. They don't get that many hurricanes in Jamaica. I don't think. They tend to be a bit further north, affecting Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Cuba, to Florida, Bahamas as well. But, this is slightly further southwards, so it looks like Jamaica gets a direct hit with a major hurricane. So, hopefully they're preparing through there. At the moment, Beryl is in sort of open water, so hopefully not causing too many problems. But as we go on into tomorrow, Beryl will be hitting Jamaica, and then beyond that, Beryl weakens a little bit, but still is a very significant storm, still a hurricane heading toward the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, then out into the Gulf of Mexico, and giving another direct hit to Mexico as we get in towards the weekend as well. So let's have a look at the discussion, and these are the key points about Beryl. If anyone is watching in the area that's been affected, please take note of your local weather service. Take care, take preparations, stay safe and look after yourself. These are the key messages. So point 1, Beryl is forecast to remain a powerful hurricane as it moves across the Caribbean Sea later this week. A hurricane warning is in effect for Jamaica, where hurricane conditions are expected on Wednesday. A tropical storm warning is also in effect for the south coast of Hispaniola, and a hurricane watch is now in effect for all of the Cayman Islands. Heavy rainfall and flash flooding are likely over Jamaica on Wednesday. Interest in Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula, Cuba, and the southwestern Gulf of Mexico should monitor the progress of Beryl. Additional watches and warnings will likely be required. You can see maximum forecast gusts look like this. Still a Category 5 hurricane right now, and in 12 hours time actually weakened by 10 miles an hour from max sustain of 165 to 155, but nevertheless that is still Category 5 hurricane. In 24 hours when it's smashing into Jamaica, Beryl is a Category 4 hurricane, giving maximum sustained winds of 140 miles per hour. Can you imagine that? And then we see a gradual weakening of Beryl as we move on through the rest of the week and into the weekend. So by weekend, back down to tropical storm status in the Gulf of Mexico. This is a very, very severe and devastating storm. There's a big write-up about Beryl, so if you're at all worried, about this storm, then please do check out the National Hurricane Center. The link is in the description with this video. Stay safe if you're in the area that Beryl is heading towards, and just look after yourself and stay safe. This is a life-threatening situation that we're seeing here, so take care. Right, coming back to home, the central temperature for July is updated for the first day of the month, sitting at 13.4, which is 2.6 degrees below 61 to 99 average, and that is provisional to the first day of the month, or for the first day of the month. So July is starting as June started, actually, with quite a cool start to it. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. Red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Nottingham. We're starting off below average for the next week. So the first week of July is going to stay cool. Don't think we're going to see that much of a recovery in that central temperature. Into the second week of the month, we do see upper air temperature becoming, well, closer to average. There's nothing particularly warm or hot going on there, but certainly a bit of a warm up anyway taking place in the second week of July and up to the middle part of the month, but also quite unsettled. So we're going to have some wet weather coming in through the last stages of this week, and then into next week I've got some really quite large precipitation spikes showing up, actually anywhere from about the 6th, 7th of July through to about the 14th, 15th, looking quite unsettled, plenty of precipitation spikes to come. So a warm up, yes, in the second half of July, or second week of July, but more unsettled. Temperature anomalies from the 2nd to 10th of July below average, not just the UK, but through most parts of Europe. And precipitation anomalies, and this is a bit of a change on what we're seeing coming out, wetter than average from the 2nd to the 10th of July. So certainly a more unsettled flavour to the weather in the week ahead. The latest weather map from urbanoldschool.net. So we've got a little ridge building up from the southwest today, a little transient ridge. Winds are in from the northwest, so it's quite cool. And the next low is in the Atlantic with its weather system that will be bringing wet weather into our. Let's drag this around, though, to something much more interesting and dramatic than that. So we'll come down to here, and this, everybody, is what a major hurricane looks like on these charts. So let's zoom in and go closer and 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 check this out. So that is devastating major category 5 hurricane Beryl. You see a beautifully defined eye centre there, and the strongest of the winds wrapped around Beryl are on the northern and the eastern side of this absolutely phenomenal and devastating storm. Let's go even closer in, shall we? Look at that. Goodness gracious me. Now imagine being in the centre of that eye. So you get all of this devastating wind like ahead of it. Then you go into the calm, into the centre of the eye, but some probably comes out centre of there. But then you've got the worst of the storm still about to hit through this area. Just here, my line went wonky. This area just here has the worst of the wind gusts as that eye centre, moves off in that direction. Then you get the worst of the wind on the backside, on the eastern side of the storm. Absolutely devastating. That, everyone, is major category 5 hurricane Beryl. I always find these charts from earthnorthschool.net coming to their own in these situations. So what a storm that is. Again, look how phenomenal those winds must be on the northern and eastern side of that storm. Goodness gracious, stay safe, anybody who's in that area. Right, let's come back to home again. We'll have a look at the UK Met Euro run. I'm going to go to the weather outlook for this. So on Friday, a secondary low push through, perhaps bring some wet weather into the south. Then into cool, showery northwest winds over the weekend. Next week, becomes a bit warmer as winds turn round to more of a southwesterly to southerly direction, but looks unsettled with low pressure still to the southwest. Icon, again, looking unsettled, cool and showery at the end of the week and into the weekend as well. Next week, wind turns to more of a southwesterly, so temperature begin to lift up, but it stays unsettled with low pressure, bringing further rain at times. The KMA, again, unsettled, cool and showery at the end of the week and into the weekend as well. Next week starts to try and build some higher pressure, especially through the middle and latter stage next week. Trying to build some high pressure, becomes a bit drier and warmer for a couple of days, but it's not long before low pressure's back in again. So we end the KMA, low pressure coming up from the south, that being a real soaking, and there's more low pressure in the Atlantic as well. So a pincer movement there with the KMA by the middle of July. Very unsettled conditions quickly return after a short interruption of something a bit drier. The GFS midnight run, again with very showery westerly winds on Friday into Saturday. We've got a little secondary low coming through Friday into Saturday, back to soaking parts of England and Wales. We do need a rainbow down in the south, by the way. It's been quite dry in the south. So for those of you who are waiting for some rain for your gardens in the south, it looks like it's on the way on Friday. Beyond that, into next week, where winds turn into the southwest, it becomes warmer, yes, milder, warmer, but stays unsettled with low pressure never far away. But around day 10, we get a build of pressure, bringing something a little bit drier and also warmer with it. It's not long though before that ridge is deflating, and overall it just looks quite unsettled really with the GFS midnight run even into the second half of July. GFS V2 again looking quite showery and cool at the end of the week and into the weekend once more. Next week winds shift around to southwest, it starts to become rather warmer with those southwesterly winds, but will still be unsettled, particularly so for the north and the west. After that we find that low pressure just keeps meandering close to us really up day 9 and 10, and even into the extended range with GFS V2. I mean, there is a bit of an attempt to build a ridge, but it all looks rather flimsy. If you're enjoying the video, please like, share and subscribe, and show everyone for doing that. Drop a comment, let's know we can about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids, get them to subscribe too. Thank you so everyone for doing that. GM, again, rather cool and showering at the end of the week and into the weekend. Early next week, we try and build some sort of a ridge to the east through the early part of the week. Not for long, though. Low pressure's back in through the second half of the week. Then we end up looking a little bit warmer, though, to some sort of a flimsy ridge or cold, but still with low pressure out to the west. I imagine as the temperature lifts up later next week, humidity rises, that will probably set off some thunder. And then the Isham finally looks rather cool and showery through the end week and into the weekend as well. Early next week, there's a bit of a shift in wind direction around to the southwest or south, becoming a bit warmer, but also looking quite unsettled still. Low pressure never far away, and that looks quite volatile actually with the ECM by the end of it. Low pressure just to the west of the island, drawing up quite a warm southerly front. Looking at upper air temperatures, they've lifted up, but I imagine this low could set off some volatility, could set off some thunder. Let's have a look at the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. So I've got wet weather piling through the country tonight and tomorrow, actually. So many of us will start with some rain tomorrow morning, rolling to showery conditions through the afternoon into Thursday, and then on Friday the next batch of rain comes in, and that brings some wet weather to England and Wales. Initially heaviest of rain with that is through Wales, the Midlands and northern England, but there's another bout that comes through from the far south and southeast late Friday and into Saturday. So even in those parched gardens, or for those parched gardens, the far south and southeast, there could be some useful rain Friday night and Saturday morning. Once that gets out of the way through Saturday, we're into showers, particularly affecting the north and the west. Next week, we have perhaps a slightly drier interlude through the earlier part of the week, but then the rain back in again later next week with further showers, if not long spells of rain. And that looks a bit thundery, I have to say, by day 10, with perhaps some thunderstorms both in the south and also in the west. This is the option on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. Gets us 12th of July, 51 out of 51 members of the ECM ensembles, all of them with some sort of a ridge away to the northwest, a trough just west-southwest. So winds are coming up from the southwest and from the south there. Should be warmer, but could be a little bit unsettled, as we just established. And then in 2 weeks' time, this is what we've got. Looks a little bit more encouraging for some drier weather, heights rising to the west and to the southwest. So not a heat wave, I would imagine. We're still bringing the wind in from off the Atlantic there, but should be turning drier anyway as the heights rise a bit to the southwest. CFS V2 finally, these are 500 millibar high tonight. Let's break it down into week periods. First week period takes from the 2nd to the 8th of July. But next week has low pressure way to the northwest, high pressure to the west and to the southwest. That brings the wind in from a northwesterly direction. So unsettled and quite cool first week of July. Week 2, bit of a change. It's the 9th to the 15th of July. High pressure builds just to east, low pressure out to west. That brings the wind up from the south and from the southwest. So the low to the southwest could still bring some volatility, could still bring some rain, but the heights building to the east should shift the wind direction around toward a southerly southwesterly. So temperatures lift up through the second week of July, but still looks a little bit unsettled, I think. Week 3 looks like that. It's the 16th to the 22nd of July. A bit more encouraging, some drier, warmer weather. Heights building through the west of Europe and out into the Atlantic. That might drag the wind up from right to southeast direction. So that could see temperature becoming quite warm there. And then week 4 does not too bad either. It's 23rd, 29th of July with high pressure over and just the west of the country. Probably a bit cooler again. Winds back in from the Atlantic, so not a heat wave. But weeks 3 and 4 looking a little bit drier, a little bit more anticyclonic with the CFS there. After an unsettled and cool start to July, 7th to June, in some ways, we may see some drier and warmer weather from about the middle of the month onwards. Time will tell. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please can you like, share and subscribe. Make sure to everyone for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to. And we thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. And again, just say if anybody's watching this from, the Caribbean, from Jamaica and whatnot, and you're in the path of Hurricane Beryl, then please stay safe. Heed the warnings from your National Weather Service and government agencies. Look after yourself. This is a devastating, life-threatening storm. Just be safe. Right, okay, so just say what's coming up tomorrow. We're going to have a 6 a.m. UK weather forecast. We'll have a 10 to 14 day, maybe other updates too, we'll see. But for this one, that's all for now. And thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and bye for now.